With so much controversy surrounding the $9.6 billion debt hammered on Nigeria by a UK court over a failed gas project with Irish company Process and Industrial Development Limited, the federal government finally responded on Tuesday with a press conference. The genesis of the dispute is a contract signed by PNID in 2010 whereby the Nigerian government would install pipelines and supply gas that would connect P&D's gas processing plant in Calabar. The plant would be built free of charge and PNID would sell 15% of the propane, ethane and butane byproduct on the international market with an expected profit of $5 billion to $6 billion over 20 years. In return, Nigeria would receive 85% of the gas at no cost for generating electricity. It was expected to generate 2,000 megawatt in power. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, opened up the forum.
Despite the recent recognition of the award by a UK court, and contrary to some reports, Nigeria is not, and I repeat, is not about to lose any of its assets to P&ID. There is no imminent threat to Nigeria's assets. In the first instance, the enforcement of the award cannot even commence now because the judge in the UK court ordered that the P&ID cannot enforce the judgment against Nigeria until after the court resumes from its current vacation. What this means is that enforcement action cannot begin until further hearing on the matter, which will take place on a date to be determined by the court upon its resumption. The federal government therefore wishes to use this opportunity to assure Nigerians that there is no immediate threat to Nigeria's assets and as has been wrongly interpreted by a section of the media.
The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, gave the economic implications of the judgment.
An award of $9.6 billion is equivalent to 3.5 trillion naira. 3.5 trillion naira in our national budget will be covering for us the personnel cost, which is about 3.2 and some. So this award that is unreasonable, that is excessive and exorbitant, is also unfair and is an assault to each and every Nigerian. It is beyond trying to compensate for a commercial interest, it's an assault to each and every Nigerian. So for us in the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, we take comfort from the efforts that so far have been put in place by the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice to ensure that this judgment is set aside, because the consequences will be unpleasant for each and every Nigerian.
The Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, detailed the legal considerations surrounding the failed contract.
By the composition of the parties to the agreement, there were two parties. The P&ID, which is the company, and Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources. As you rightly know very well, Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources is not a producer of gas. Gas products are produced by IOCs, international oil companies, NPDC, and perhaps NNPC. So when you conceived, sign and execute a contract for the supply of gas products without involving IOCs, NPDC, and NNPC as a party to that agreement, you know very well that there are a lot of questions to answer arising from the execution of that agreement. So this, among others, gave rise to insinuations of perhaps certain criminal and fraudulent conspiracies right from the conception of the agreement. The fact remains that you cannot sign an agreement to provide a product that you do not have. Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources do not have oil wells, marginal fields, or gas products. So how can the ministry sign an agreement without bringing on board those that are the custodian or the producers of the gas products for the purpose of supply of gas products? So it is again the background of this appreciation ab initio that we feel that there is need for comprehensive criminal investigation for the purpose of identifying what are the undertones, whether the undertones are indeed criminal or they are not. So within the context of this appreciation that the contract was originally designed not to succeed, that the contract was entered into with the parties that are not originally entitled to execute or sign the agreement, that the Nigerian state was subjected to unnecessary economic sabotage right from the conception of the agreement down to the execution level, I think it is not out of place to embark on full-scale criminal investigation for the purpose of identifying whether there exists element of local and international conspiracy.
The Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele refused to consent to the award.
P&ID, or the contractor in this case, had mentioned that it had invested close to about $40 million in the project. We have gone through our records. We don't have any information in our records to show that this company brought in 1 cent into this country. And we have accordingly written to the EFCC and the Intelligence Department of Nigerian Police that are currently investigating this matter. I'm saying from our part as Central Bank, we do not have any information in our records, no evidence to show that a foreign company who came into this country deserves to be awarded $9.6 billion without investing a cent in Nigeria.
Stay with Rootstv Nigeria to follow up on the next steps the federal government would take to tackle this massive debt issue. Rootstv Nigeria.